It's me again. And there's a lot of people trying to figure out, where should I live next? And I know a lot of people are leaving bigger cities because they want to move to smaller cities, or they want to live in places that taxes are not high. And in this video, I'm going to talk about living in Denver, Colorado, the pros and cons. Hi, my name is dipo.phillips. If it's your first time on my YouTube channel, welcome to my YouTube channel. Each week, I'm going to talk about buyer tips, it could be seller tips, it could be about the real estate market, it could be anything real estate related. And all I actually return is for you to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. All right, let's get the show rolling. Living in Denver, Colorado, the pros and cons. Between 75 to 80% of the population isn't above 44 years old. So in Denver, Colorado, there's a lot of younger population living there because they love what Denver, Colorado has to offer. Lots of nature, you can do lots of activities, there's lots of parks, and in the parks you see people running, you see people doing yoga, you see people just, playing with their dogs. And with Denver, Colorado, as I said, the city is young and it's growing and population is growing. And there's a lot of things that Denver, Colorado has to offer for the young population. The average median income in Denver, Colorado is $58,000, 6 to 7% below the national average. And for jobs that people do in Denver, as I said, startup companies, they do technology, aerospace, agriculture, lots of things that deals with the nature of jobs that people are doing, because what I said, Denver is a young city of young population of people living in Denver, Colorado. Cost of living in Denver. So the cost of living in Denver, Colorado is not as much as the major cities. You're not spending a lot of money living in a city like New York, Chicago, or San Francisco. So Denver city for cost of living is a lot lower because you're not paying that taxes, the property taxes are a lot lower. And for the state income tax for Denver, Colorado is about 4.63%, a lot lower than the national average. And for food's a lot low as well too. It's about 4%. The only thing that's high in Denver, Colorado for spending is healthcare, which is 17%, which is above the national average. The whole thing about Denver, Colorado is the sports. If you're a big sports fan, they have 4 major sports. They have the NFL, they got NBA, they got NHL hockey, they got baseball, but also they have a Major League Soccer team as well. So if you're a big sports person and you move into the city of Denver, Colorado, it has lots of sports, and if you're a sports person, this is a city to be. Denver is adventurous. What I mean adventurous, there's lots of things you could do in Denver, Colorado. You go biking, you go hiking, you go skiing, you go snowboarding, trails, golf, canoeing, backpacking. There's so much things you could do in Denver, Colorado, because as I said, Denver, lots of outdoor activities, lots of nature. Denver's a city you can't get bored because there's so much things to do. They got breweries, which is you're a big beer drinker, lots of distilleries, just so much I could just name off. They have lots of things to do. But if you're moving to Denver, Colorado, you are going to be on your toes because there's so much things for you to do. And the last pro for Denver, Colorado is the weather. 300 days of sunlight. Let me repeat that one more time. 300 days of sunlight. So with me being in Denver, as I said, when you wake up in the morning, you see that sun, you're like, wow, it's going to be a great day. It's not going to be cloudy. It's not going to be raining or snowing. Yes, we do get snow, but the snow is very mild. It's not like the Midwest. And when it does snow, it melts within 24 to 48 hours. As I said, we are very close to the sun because of elevation, so the snow does not last that long. The cons of Denver, Colorado, high altitude. So Denver, Colorado is called a mile-high city, meaning 5,280 feet above sea level. So we're high up there, less oxygen, and when you come out here, your lungs you're probably going to think you're going to die because the air is so thin. And a tip for that is that if you do cardiovascular exercise, you get your body acclimated in the lungs for the higher altitude for you to breathe. Another con for Denver, Colorado is that the air is very, very dry. So your hair will get dry, your skin will get dry, and you want to make sure you have some moisturizer in your hair and make sure you use lots of lotion. Another thing with Denver, Colorado is that you could get very dehydrated. So please make sure you drink a lot of water, like stay hydrated. Lots of people in Denver, Colorado has flasks because they're drinking water so they don't be dehydrated. And when you get dehydrated, you have headaches. Another thing too is that in Denver, Colorado, you want to make sure that you have some lotions to make sure your skin is very moist, and also make sure you have a chapstick in your pocket. So these are the cons in Denver, Colorado when you are moving at a higher altitude. Colorado is starting to get expensive for people living there. The reason why Denver, Colorado is getting expensive because people are finally knowing what Denver, Colorado has to offer. It's like a gold mine because now people know there's lots of outdoor activities, there's 300 days of sunlight, and now people are moving in and rent is creeping up. Rent is going up. Single family prices of homes are going up. And now from last month, the average price for a single family home for a detached home is $625,000 and this is like the highest ever during the pandemic, so yes, things are starting to get very, very expensive because people are moving to Denver, Colorado because Denver, Colorado has lots of things that has to offer. That is Denver's traffic because population is going up and Denver traffic is starting to get crazy, and people who are unicorns here or residents that live here are not happy because now they're saying 10 years ago, this stuff never happened. Where are people coming from? And honestly, people are coming here because Denver has a lot to offer, and now there's more traffic. And if you drive around the highway or expressway, you see there's lots of construction because they're trying to make more lanes for cars to go by because population is growing. The public transportation. So Denver, Colorado public transportation is not good as the big cities like Chicago, New York, DC, because yes, they do have buses and light rail, but for you to find those transportation to get you to point A to point B, if you live by it, okay, but if you don't, the access is not easy access to get there. Like in the major cities, they're so good with their train, their bus routes for you to get there, to get to these train stations or light rails. But like in Denver, they're lacking a bit because they're still trying to catch up because they haven't been there yet because the amount of people are moving to this. So I've talked about the pros and cons, living in Denver, Colorado. Denver is a top 3 city in the nation for people to live for quality of life. So as I said, Denver has a lot to offer. But for cons, as I said, the city growing so fast, things are starting to get expensive. And if you're a person that is thinking to relocate to Denver, Colorado and want to know more information, you could leave me a comment below. You could shoot me a text. You could email me all my information or down below in the video. And thanks again for watching my video. And all I ask in return is for you to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. And guess what, guys? I will see you soon.